Hello everyone, welcome to Family Home Evening. Since the recent announcement that young men who turn 12 this year can now be ordained to the priesthood, there might be some fresh-faced 11-year-olds who have suddenly become deacons much sooner than they expected. So I wanted to talk about becoming a priesthood holder. What do you think will be your most important priesthood responsibility? The most important thing you will do every week at church? It's the sacrament. The sacrament is the most important thing on Sundays. But you've already seen the title of the video. Joining the ranks of the priesthood carries with it a de facto unspoken conscription to put away chairs after meetings and activities for the rest of your life. And a lot of people do it wrong. But how can you put chairs away wrong? It's a pretty basic skill. Pick it up, kick the legs together, or maybe you prefer the drag method, and then you either lean it against the wall or you put it on a cart, and you're done. What's the big deal? First of all, it's not a big deal. I just sometimes nitpick the way other people do things. But it's that last step that a lot of people get wrong. Sure, it's not hard to lean a chair against the wall, but how carefully you do it can make a huge difference between this and this. See, your instinct is probably to set the chair next to the wall or previous chair, and then lean it over until it's resting against the chair or the wall. This is a mistake, because that little gap between the feet of the chairs decreases the number of chairs you can stack there. It's just a little gap, but remember, small and simple means doth confound the wise. Each chair you add to the pile will have to tilt a little bit more, then a little more, until they can't stand up anymore. The best way to stack folded chairs is to place the chair diagonally with the feet directly against the previous chair. That way you minimize that annoying foot gap and maximize the number of chairs you can put in each stack. Then you just lean the chair up against the previous chair and you're done. Now instead of having 8 or 10 chairs in each stack before they start to fall over, by placing the feet first right up against the previous chair, you can literally stack every chair in the chapel in one row and they won't fall over. But don't do that. I hope it's obvious why you wouldn't want to do that. But stacking chairs against the wall is small potatoes compared to the giant pan of steaming funeral potatoes that is the chair cart. This is one that a lot of people think they've figured out the trick to, but they've only got half of it, and they end up making the problem worse. The problem comes from the way the chairs are shaped. When laid on their side like they would be on a chair cart, they have a slight wedge shape. This means that if you lay them all the same direction, eventually they'll all get pinched on one side, while being way too loose on the other. And that's a recipe for disaster. So most seasoned veterans of the Elders Quorum know that you have to alternate the placement of the chairs to counteract this problem. But here's the issue. Your typical cultural hall has more chairs than there is space on the carts, which means it's crucial to get them to fit as close together as possible. The thing is, the chairs aren't smooth wedges. Most of it folds pretty flat, but the backrest sticks out further than the rest of the chair. This works just fine though when you're laying them all the same way because the backrest fits into the backrest of the next chair. But when you alternate every other chair or every 2 chairs, you're actually making the problem worse by increasing the amount of space taken up on the cart by backrests. Even worse if you're not paying attention and place the chairs back to back. Seriously, amateur move. Don't do it. So what's the solution then? If you can't lay them all the same way, but you can't alternate them either, what should you do? The trick is to take a hybrid approach. Use the advantages of each method to cover the drawbacks of the other. Laying them all the same way is a great way to make sure the chairs fit closely together, but doesn't account for the wedge shape of the chairs. Alternating back and forth corrects for the shape of the chairs, but wastes space because of the backrests. So the most efficient way to lay chairs in a chair cart is to place 10 or 12 chairs all facing the same way. Then turn the next chair over end for end, and place another 10 or 12 chairs that same way. Keep doing that until you've filled the cart. This way, every single one of these chairs is helping correct for the wedge shape of all these chairs. As long as they're the same number in each set, the wedge shape is cancelled out. But since you're putting more chairs together the way they were designed to fit together, you're saving loads of space that would have been wasted by alternating more often. So you definitely want to alternate the chairs, but do it as little as possible. And now that you know the secret wisdom behind the sacred priesthood duty of chair stacking, you can leave your focus on what's truly important about holding the priesthood of Aaron. Obviously the sacrament. but also looking good for the young women. I know why you're trying to carry as many chairs as you can. Thanks for joining this week's Family Night lesson. I have 2 questions for you today. First, how many chairs can you carry in each hand? And ladies in the audience, confession time. How many chairs would he have to carry for you to consider marrying him? Thank you for joining me for Family Home Evening, and have a great week.